Look, failure is part of the process. It is part of the process. Everyone's gone through it. And if you've had a bad day, if you've had a bad week, bad month, bad year, I get it. I've been there. I started my first business at 19, and I made every mistake you could possibly make in a business. I made all of them. You want to know what the biggest mistake was? I sold my business for about six figures. It was a great payday for me. The company that bought that business, since they bought that business, has made over $100 million on what I created just off the customer list I had. I didn't know what I was doing. I failed, but that's okay. I learned a lot from those failures. I got back up. And that's something that you're going to be able to do time and time again throughout your career is get back up and learn from your failures. Hopefully, not as catastrophic as some of mine have been, but learn from your failures. Get back up and accept that every time something goes wrong, that's part of the process of growing and succeeding. That's going to be critical for you. You have to get your head around celebrating the successes as they come and appreciating them and enjoying them. Focus on those things that have been successful and learning what did you do right. Look at the things that didn't go well. Look at failure and ask yourself what went wrong. Do that post-mortem and focus on fixing and building because that's your career. I can't explain it in any other way except at some point in your career, things are going to go wrong. Whether that's in your educational journey, whether that's in your job search, whether you have been successful for 5 years and you just got laid off, there are 100 different things that are going to go wrong in your career. And that next day, after it's all gone wrong, you have two choices. You can give up. You can take the easy way out. And I don't blame you if you've done that before. If you spent a week taking the easy way out, you're not alone. That's all of us. Some of us have a bad week, and that's okay. But then you have a choice. You can stay down, or you can start solving problems. Just pick the problems to solve. Learn from your mistakes. Figure out what went wrong. Start solving problems. And if you solve enough problems, you get to succeed again. Every one of those problems you solve, that's a little victory. So remember, failure is part of the process. Risk failure. It's hard, isn't it? To go into something knowing that there's a good probability that you're going to fail. You have to risk something. You have to put something out there. And if it fails, you have to know you're strong enough to get back up, that you're going to succeed again because you're going to find those problems to solve and you're going to figure it out. You just haven't figured it out yet, and that's okay because all of us are still figuring this out. It doesn't matter how successful you think a person may be. We are amazing at sharing our success stories on social media and on all of these other platforms. And the failures, those happen in the back, in the shadows. You never see them. But I want you to understand, I've failed. And everyone that you look at who is successful, they failed too. The difference is they failed up. They failed forward. Found a way to make something out of that failure that was better than just staying there. And that's your core capability because failure is part of the process. Risk is the only thing that leads to success, but it also leads to failure. When you risk something, risk intelligently, risk with a high reward, but also understand that you're going to fail sometimes. I learned some lessons playing poker, and I think this is the best way to explain failure and why it's important to risk failure. If I have a great poker hand, if I have a dominant poker hand, I know I have the best hand. I should bet that hand. I should put my chips on the table with the highest chance of getting money back. Does that mean that all the time I will end up winning that hand? That somebody else who calls me with garbage or with a good draw, but a lower chance of victory, they may still win. However, in the long run, if I make smart risks, if I take intelligent chances, they're going to pay off in the long run. It's a numbers game. It's an odds game. But I have to be able to fail and be okay with going back to that same strategy that I know will be successful because I've backed it up. I've proven it. But also being smart enough to reevaluate strategies and think to myself, is there a better way? Is there a way that I can risk less and still get the same reward? And that's how you have to think about your career. Think about it like a poker hand. If you have a dominant hand, it's good to put your chips on the table, but you're going to lose sometimes. That's just part of the process. There is a percentage chance of failure. Be good with taking that percentage chance of failure, because that's going to lead to you being successful in the long run. So, what's the message of this video? Fail, get back up, start solving problems, take smart risks, and don't be afraid of the inevitable failures. Don't underestimate how strong you are. I think you're strong enough to get back up. I mean, I was able to get back up, push my career forward, and succeed. And I know you are too, because I'm no different than you are. I'm not that much different than you are. I've just spent a little bit more time being stubborn, persevering. It's all that's in between you and what you want to achieve, in turning failure into success. That's how you have a long career. That's how you have a successful career. But you have to take those risks. You have to take smart ones. And you've got to get back up when it goes wrong.